So plenty still to come on Sports World. Just stay there and keep watching. And well, the Darwin Cup was run last Monday. Keith Hillier went up about 6 months before to get prepared. He has returned. Keithy, I didn't think we'd ever see you again. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Nice to be back, Bruce. It wasn't 6 months, maybe a couple of weeks.
Did you enjoy yourself up there?
I did, and congratulations to the Darwin Turf Club. It's a fantastic cup, you know. Darwin has a population of only about 65,000 people. They got more than 20,000 at the Cup. So on a pro-rata basis, if we did that down here, we'd get 2 million to the Melbourne Cup, wouldn't we?
It'd be a bit hard to fit them all in.
Yes.
You know them all up and down, you'd know 2 million people in Melbourne.
Oh, it's a nice spot, Bruce. We could sit and yarn about that forever.
But there are more important things to talk
Yes.
about. Terce returned yesterday to racing in the San Domenico Stakes. Did he catch your eye?
Well, he did. He left racing as the best 2-year-old in Australia, winning the Grand Slam, and he came back with a performance that moved his trainer, Clary Connors, to say that he might be even better this year. It was a fantastic performance. He was last at the 800 metres, and he went to the line. Although the margin was not big, he was untouched, and it was a soft win, a fantastic first-up performance.
And a good field too, because the two horses behind him were both very good 2-year-olds. Cloudlet, who finished third, and Big Dreams, who was his great rival, along with Bold Promise and the Golden Slipper.
And in doing it, as I mentioned, virtually untouched, Bruce, giving Clary Connors a nice shock from the grandstand, he beat a 9-year-old track record, 57.1. That's really flying, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a super horse. He's had 11 starts for 9 wins and won almost $2 million in prize money. Let's go to the San Domenico Stakes. Terce is a fair way back when we picked them up.
Is last, but he's no more than about 6 lengths off the lead as they go by the 600 mark, and it's Jester Royale with the inside running, getting to a narrow lead over Royal Hostess. Cloudlet is now kicking up on the fence to hold them out, followed by Big Dreams, Loves a Lunch very wide, and then Ooze and Tolo Fair, and Terce is starting to thread his way through. He's about 4 lengths off the lead as they turn the corner. In the straight, Cloudlet, Jester Royale, his Big Dreams getting to them quickly, and Terce down the outside. Here comes the champ. Terce is coming after Big Dreams. Big Dreams in front, but Terce has gobbled him up in a stride, takes the lead, and he's going to win by a very good margin. In fact, he eased up on the line to win at a half length to Big Dreams, and Cloudlet has run third.
Well, they're thinking about the Ascot Vale Stakes in Melbourne in September. He looks a Caulfield Guineas horse. Could we stretch him out to the longer races like the Derby? What about the Cox Plate, Keith, the 2,000-metre race?
Yes, twice the distance of yesterday's race. I think his next start will be the up-and-coming stakes again at Warwick Farm, then a choice between the Roman Consul and the Ascot Vale Stakes. Then we'll see him in Melbourne for sure for the Guineas. I think he'll run the Cox Plate distance.
Yeah, he's not a tearaway sprinter,
no,
is he? He's a horse that can really run on. And you put him in that race with no weight as a 3-year-old, he'll be very hard to beat if he keeps training on.
Sure, and also the mention of the Cox Plate in New Zealand yesterday at Ellerslie. Surface Paradise returned, first run since the AJC Derby, carried 58 kilos and finished 4th, beaten less than a length. And the 3 horses in front of him all had apprentice claims. On a bog track, it was a fantastic first-up performance, and Royal Creation was second in the race, a good Caulfield Cup
that's
trial.
a good field, isn't it? Because Surface Paradise, I think what beat him in the Derby, I don't think he's a 1.5 mile horse.
No.
I know he won in New Zealand, but 1.25 miles looks right up his alley. So they're all coming out, aren't they?
If there was such a thing as a nominal favourite for the Cox Plate, I think it would be Surface Paradise.
Yes, I won't argue with you there.
Right, good.
Ricochet Rosie returned also in Sydney yesterday. She'd won the Toorak Handicap, was one of the favourites for the Caulfield Cup last year. She was up against Barenda Boy, but it was a good run by Ricochet.
Yes, I suppose a year older and a little tougher to produce your best first up, but she's such a quality mare, and she showed yesterday that she's lost little, if anything. She was a gallant second.
Yes, let's have a look at this race. Ricochet Rosie the Grey running on very strongly. Watch for her from a guide to races later this spring.
Ricochet Rosie, the best part of 8 lengths from the lead, and back at the tail, Princeville as they come to the corner. Barandar Boy leads by nearly a length to Alpine Flyer, who's given this leader no peace. In third place, Pagan Jest, followed by Federate. Friends Venture flat to the boards, and Ricochet Rosie is well back as they turn, where Barandar Boy's got a good break, led by a length or more to Alpine Flyer. 2 lengths away, Pagan Jest. Ricochet Rosie starting to hit top gear down the outside, but Barandar Boy clear 100 out. Over in second place, Alpine Flyer. Look at Rosie go home now. Ricochet Rosie swamping Barandar Boy, but the post was a mite too close, and Barandar Boy has lasted to beat the fast finishing Ricochet Rosie. Alpine Flyer or Friends Venture for third.
It's a good run because the winner's pretty handy. He's won 13 races, so Ricochet Rosie, the Epsom Handicap would be, I guess, her big one with the Toorak Handicap later on.
I'm sure she'll pick up another big one this campaign.
Yeah, 6-year-old man. Now, in Melbourne yesterday, the Churnside Stakes, dominated by Rodelva before the race, the 6-4 favourite. Last year's winner, Street Ruffian's form didn't look as good this year.
Now, he was beaten at Moonee Valley yesterday. He was a ring drifter. He got out to 10-1. The outcome surprised and shocked punters, and they let connections know. There was a bit of a stir before the race, Bruce, when Street Ruffian returned a sample, a pre-race blood sample that didn't satisfy stewards. The trainer, Michael Hewson, gave stewards an assurance that the horse had no drugs, but there will be an inquiry, of course, into that.
OK, he ran a great race yesterday, took his earnings to over $500,000. Let's see Street Ruffian win the Churnside for the second consecutive year. The favourite, Redelva, trying to run him down in the straight.
Inside the 800, Street Ruffian leads clearly by a length to So Gay Paris. Over the ton, works up on the inside, followed by Sonic Express. Then Redelva 3 out. Second last is Dark Bow. And 2.5 away, Ben Barra King. 550 metres out on the turn. It's Street Ruffian by 3/4 to So Gay Paris. A half on the inside is Over the ton, followed by Redelva to fourth. 2 lengths away, Dark Bow. He's second last. He pulls to the outside. He's making ground, followed by Sonic Express. And 2.5 away, Ben Barra King. Redelva pulls to the outside in the straight. 300 metres out. It's Street Ruffian over 2 in front. He got away. 250 metres out. Street Ruffian still over 2 in front. Redelva under the whip. He gets into second placing, followed by So Gay Paris, but it's Street Ruffian at the 100 in front. Redelva with his big heart is trying very hard. Street Ruffian in front though, and he's run his rivals ragged. Street Ruffian wins a length and 3/4. Redelva 2.5 away, third Sonic Express.
Well, last year Street Ruffian won that race and went on to win the Manikato. Obviously, that's where he'll be going this year.
He's found form again, Bruce, and maybe we should not have dismissed him as a chance yesterday because he wasn't suited as a leader at Moonee Valley when he flopped, and leaders were suited yesterday, so the track conditions, the track bias swung in his favour yesterday.
And a quick comment about Redelva's run first up.
Oh, it was very good. He's an iron horse. He's never been beaten on a rain-affected track until yesterday, and if we get a wet winter, there'll be more wins for him too.
And Dark Bow, did he just not handle the going?
Oh, he got poleaxed early, and that put him out of business. He's got some cuts and abrasions, nothing serious. There's a win in him too.
OK, so a lot of those horses will be going for the Manikato. The race at Shaftesbury Avenue, I think, will be first up in, so it's going to be a terrific race. Another interesting race yesterday at Caulfield was the event that Mamselle Purdue won. She certainly struck some form. 3 wins in succession, and she's been one of the stars of the Melbourne winter.
For the home turn near the 600 metres, it's still Grey Man in front by a half. Under the whip is Asher Star not going well. Mamselle Purdue now gets to a clear second. Royal Switch now pulling out around the outside, 3 wide making ground. Expected Journey going well, needing a run. Back in behind them now, pull to the outside from well back on the races. Derwin Boy with High Waters under the whip. Asher Star has gone from Eros Valley and Imperial Tango, but Mamselle Purdue, she raced up on the outside to grab Grey Man quickly. 250 out on the straight. Expected Journey gets the run in plenty of time. Royal Switch is down the outside, coming out after Mamselle Purdue, but Mamselle Purdue, she's pulling out plenty. In fact, she got away at the 100-metre mark from Royal Switch and Expected Journey, and it's all Mamselle Purdue. Mamselle Purdue wins by 2.5. Expected Journey second, a half neck away third, Royal Switch.
Gee, Keith, hasn't she become solid, Mamselle Purdue?
Yeah, she's the best mare around, the best winter mare around. Bruce, there's an intriguing race coming up before the end of the month at Moonee Valley. It's weight for age for mares only, 1,600 metres, and I'm sure that will be her mission.
OK, there's a good tip. Fortnight away, isn't it?
Sorry?
A fortnight, OK.
Fortnight away.
We had the Melbourne Cup weights while you were away, by the way.
I know, and actually the only reason I had to stay so long in Darwin, I've been there 5 minutes and someone said, what are Bruce McAvaney's tips for the Cups? 3 weeks later, I'd finished.
OK, well, don't go away. Just for that, I'm going to keep you for another segment. Shane Dye after this. Welcome back to Sports World. Well, in a few short years, Shane Dye has established himself as one of the best jockeys in Australia, probably in the world. Anyone who meets Shane, they're struck by his professionalism and his intensity to the commitment to the task. With the Melbourne Cup, 3 golden slippers and the Sydney Jockeys Premiership behind him, there's little in Australian racing that Shane hasn't achieved. But rather than concentrate solely on his riding career, Dye has branched out into the world of business, and a surprising one at that. Cameron Williams has the story.
When a jockey plans a business trip to Hong Kong, it's to one of 2 racetracks, Sha Tin or Happy Valley. But Shane Dye runs his own race. He headed downtown to the Wan Chai district and brought part of it back to Sydney.
Hi, how are you? All right today?
Yeah, very busy.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. I'll see you later.
See ya.
Ta.
Bye.
Business is Xanadu. a Hong Kong-style relaxation centre where patrons enjoy everything from a haircut to a massage. Already about 100 people visit the centre each day.
Your digestion system is good, normal and good.
Dai says creating Xanadu has been more rewarding than just about any of his racing achievements. And for a jockey, perhaps there's something comforting about the permanency of bricks and mortar.
That's a good question. I suppose, as I've stated, there are the financial gains here, which secures your life, whereas in racing you haven't got those financial gains. I could be forgotten tomorrow. Like here, I'm getting an income, whereas in riding, I don't know what I'm going to be earning. I could have a bad year or I could have a fall and I'm not going to be making money. But I do have to keep riding those winners to keep getting in the public's eyes so I can get involved in things like this. And winning Golden Slippers and Melbourne Cups, it does make you.
After a Melbourne Cup and 3 Golden Slipper victories in succession, Shane Dai is made all right. Racing fans are familiar with his shows of emotion after a big triumph.
Before the turn, I thought, well, I've wasted nothing. I've got to go round them. And I thought I was on the right horse, the best stayer, and he's won.
Straight from the heart, and his recent win in the Sydney Jockeys Premiership was no different.
Well, but Dai's not going to rest on his laurels. His win number 101 coming up, and San Pedro storms away and wins
Riding
easily.
champion youngster Terse, Dai won the 2-year-old Triple Crown in probably the most successful Sydney Carnival any jockey has enjoyed. The man is driven to winning.
It's not greed, definitely not, but it's more achievement. It's just like when I win a Golden Slipper or I do something that I set my mind on, I get emotional about it because I've put so much hard work in, and it isn't the money factor, definitely not. It's something, I set myself goals in life every 5 years or every 6 months to do something, and I put so much hard work into it that when it does come off, I feel so glad and so proud of myself. And this is another example, something like this. So I suppose it's really not the money factor. It's that I've put so much hard work into doing something I wanted to do, and when I've pulled it off and been successful at it, I can look back and feel very proud of myself.
Any good tips Saturday?
Any good tips that day?
Yeah.
If you don't bet, you don't lose.
Don't bet, don't lose.
You don't lose. You still have your money. But if you're going to bet, back Terse.
As a businessman, Dai is the apprentice, and restaurant magnate Ken Lau, sitting in the middle, is the master. And at this stage, Dai isn't quite qualified to run the operation alone.
Not really. As I said, I'm just learning. Kenny's the hard one. He's very, very good. As for myself, you know, I'm a bit of a softie. But no, I'll get there. And I'm, as I keep saying, you know, I'm only learning.
He has made mistakes. Initially, the centre was called Vibes, a close approximation of the Cantonese word for feces, a minor hurdle on the way to becoming a master of the universe.
It's only a matter of time. I'm only young, so I can, you know, I've got a long way ahead of me.
How old are you?
I'm 24 at this stage.
Multi-millionaire?
I wouldn't say that. Got a lot of expenses and always seem to be paying bills.
Well, he's got some money to pay bills with, and he deserves it. He's a great jockey, had a terrific start to the season yesterday, along with Jim Cassidy and Mick Dittman. He's a credit to the game, isn't he, Shane?
Well, he is, Bruce. He's the Premier Rider in New South Wales for the season just ended. He's now channeling his money into what is obviously going to be a successful venture. But very few people really have been aware that he has been riding under extreme personal pressure. His wife, Carla, after the birth of their baby, has been dangerously ill. And fortunately, it seems that battle has been won too. And money aside, of course, that was the most important for Shane Dai.
Well, that's terrific news. And I mean, you've said this before on this program, that the big jockeys win the big races. Now, the big races are about to start. The Group 1 races are coming up shortly. The Dais, the Cassidys, the Dittmans, I've left out a couple, I know, but they're the jockeys that seem to dominate those races, aren't they?
Yes, and it's sort of been part and parcel of racing for years, hasn't it? The best win the best. Shane Dai has not made a commitment to his Melbourne Cups mounts. You know, he's been offered the Tommy Smith's Derby winning horse, but he still won't say yes. And
Dorset
that's a position,
Downs, yeah.
Dorset Downs, that a great rider can get himself into the position to be able to delay a choice and then hopefully make the right one.
All right, Keith, we've got a lot to look forward to in racing. There's some big races coming up the next 3 or 4 weeks. Will tell a tale as far as the Cups are concerned.
It's exciting, isn't it, Bruce? And we'll have a Cups countdown every week, because from now on, every week's racing will make a difference in some way to the Cup markets.
And no, I won't walk on your back at the end of the show, Keith.
Thankfully not.
We'll take a break after this Australia against the All Blacks. What a match that was yesterday.